Alara lived in Sector 7. Sector 7 was gray. All buildings were gray. All streets were gray. People wore gray clothes. Every day was the same. Alara went to school. She learned numbers. She learned facts. She learned about rules. One day, Alara saw a small crack in the wall. It was a very old wall. A tiny green leaf grew from the crack. Alara had never seen a green leaf outside the learning screens. She touched it. It was soft. It was real. The next day, Alara brought a small pot. She took the leaf carefully. She put it in the pot. She gave it water. She hid it under her bed. This was not a rule. This was a secret. Weeks passed. The leaf grew. It became a small plant. Alara looked at it every day. It made her feel happy. She thought, what if more things were green? In school, the teacher showed a picture of a gray machine. This machine makes our air, the teacher said. It is old. It is slow, but it works. Alara looked at the gray machine. It was very big. It made a loud noise. It looked tired. Alara drew a picture. She did not draw the gray machine. She drew a new machine. It had bright colors. It had small plants on it. It made clean air. It also made soft music. She showed it to her friend, Sam. Sam looked at the drawing. His eyes were wide. What is this? He asked. It is not real. Alara smiled. It can be, she said. We can make it real. Sam was scared. Rules, he whispered. We cannot make new machines. Alara shook her head. We can think new things. Thinking is not against the rules. Thinking is free. Alara and Sam started to look at old parts. In Sector 7, old parts were thrown away. They found some metal. They found some wires. They found a small, broken fan. They took them to Alara's secret place. It was an old empty room. Nobody used it. They began to build. It was slow. It was hard. They did not know many things. But Alara remembered her plant. She remembered how it grew from nothing. She remembered the feeling of new. They used their hands. They used their minds. They tried one thing. It did not work. They tried another thing. It did not work. Sam wanted to stop. It is too hard, he said. We cannot do it. Alara looked at her drawing. She looked at the old parts. We can try a new way, she said. Maybe the parts want to be together in a different way. She turned the fan upside down. She connected a wire in a different place. A small light blinked. Then a soft hum started. It was not loud like the city's old machines. It was gentle. It works, Sam shouted. His face was bright. It was not gray. It was full of joy. Their small machine made a little clean air. It was very little, but it was a start. They showed it to their teacher, Ms. Anya. Ms. Anya was old. She always wore gray. She always followed rules. Ms. Anya looked at the machine. She looked at Alara and Sam. Her face was still. Then, a small smile touched her lips. This is new, she said softly. How did you do this? Alara explained about the crack in the wall. She explained about the plant. She explained about thinking new. Sam explained about trying different ways. Ms. Anya touched the small machine. She felt the clean air. The city needs clean air, she said. Our big machines are old. She thought for a long time. This is a small step. But it is a brave step. Ms. Anya helped Alara and Sam. She did not break rules. She found old plans. She found old books. The books had pictures of things that were not gray. They had colors. They had ideas. More students came to the old room. They saw Alara and Sam's machine. They saw Ms. Anya's smile. They wanted to make things too. They started to draw. They started to build. New ideas began to grow. One boy, Kai, wanted to make a machine for water. The city had clean water. But it came from big, noisy pipes. Kai wanted quiet water. He wanted to make water machines that looked like flowers. A girl, Lena, wanted to make new lights. The city lights were bright, but cold. Lena wanted lights that changed color. She wanted lights that felt warm. The old room became a place of ideas. It was not gray anymore. There were drawings on the walls. There were small machines on the tables. There were many colors. There was hope. The gray leaders of Sector 7 heard about the old room. They heard about the new machines. They came to see. Their faces were serious. They looked at the colorful room. They looked at the happy children. One leader, Mr. Strict, pointed at Kai's flower-like water machine. "This is not standard," he said. "This is not efficient." Kai was sad. He thought his idea was bad. Alara stepped forward. "Our old machines are breaking," she said. "They are gray. They are slow. These new machines are different. They are small, but they work. They are our future." Ms. Anya stood with Alara. "These children are not breaking rules," she said. "They are finding new solutions. They are using creativity." Mr. Strict looked at the small machines. He saw the children's bright eyes. He saw the small plant Alara now wore in her hair. It was a new plant, not the first one. That one was big now. He remembered a time when he was young. He remembered a small dream he once had. The leaders talked. They talked for a long time. They looked at the old, gray city. They looked at the new, colorful room. They saw the difference. Finally, Mr. Strict spoke. "We need new air. We need new water. Our old ways are not enough. Maybe these new ways are good." He gave the children a new building. It was not gray. It was empty. "Fill it," he said. "Fill it with your ideas. Fill it with your creativity." The children were very happy. They moved to the new building. They brought their machines. They brought their drawings. They brought their dreams. The new building became the innovation hub. Alara and Sam worked together. They made their air machine bigger. It still made soft music. It still had plants on it. It made a lot of clean air. Kai worked on his water flowers. He made them bigger. He made them beautiful. They cleaned water quietly. They brought beauty to the city. Lena made her warm lights. They lit up the streets with many colors. The people in Sector 7 looked up. Their gray faces started to smile. They felt warm. They felt happy. More people came to the innovation hub. They were old. They were young. They had ideas. They wanted to build. They wanted to create. A woman wanted to make flying bicycles. A man wanted to make houses that moved. A girl wanted to make food that grew in the air. All these ideas were different. All these ideas were new. The gray city started to change. The old, noisy machines slowly stopped. New, quiet, colorful machines took their place. The air became cleaner. The streets became brighter. The people became happier. Alara looked at the city. It was not gray anymore. It had green plants. It had bright lights. It had many colors. It was a city of new ideas. It was a city of creativity. She knew that sometimes, the old ways were not enough. Sometimes, people needed to think new. They needed to dream. They needed to make new things. This was the way to a better future. This was the key. She saw a small child drawing on a wall. The child was drawing a rocket ship. It was a bright red rocket. It was going to a new planet. Alara smiled. The future was not gray. The future was bright. The future was creative. The city grew. It changed. It became a place where people always looked for new ways. They always asked, "What if?" They always tried to make things better. They knew that even a small idea could grow into something big. A small plant could change a whole city. A small drawing could start a big change. The innovation hub was always full. People shared their ideas. They helped each other. They learned from each other. They knew that together, they could do more. They could create more. Alara grew older. She still worked in the innovation hub. She taught young children about thinking outside the box. She showed them how to look at a problem and find a new solution. She told them stories about the gray city and the little green leaf. The world outside Sector 7 saw the changes. Other gray cities started to ask, "How did you do this?" Alara and her friends shared their story. They shared their knowledge. They shared their belief in creativity. They showed others that the future was not about more rules. It was about more ideas. It was not about bigger machines. It was about smarter, kinder solutions. The earth began to change. Many cities became like Sector 7, full of color and innovation. People learned to value new thoughts. They learned to value imagination. Alara often sat by a tall, green tree that grew where the old, gray air machine once stood. She remembered the small crack in the wall. She remembered the tiny leaf. She remembered the feeling of new. She knew that the future would always bring new problems. But she also knew that people would always find new ways. They would always use their minds. They would always use their hearts. They would always create, and in this creation, they would find the answers. In their creativity, they would find the key to the future. This was the lesson of the leaf. This was the lesson of the gray city. This was the hope for tomorrow. The world was not perfect. There were still challenges, but now, people faced them with a different spirit. They faced them with open minds. They faced them with a desire to build better. They faced them with creativity. Alara watched children playing in a park filled with strange, beautiful plants and quiet, clean air machines that looked like art. Their laughter was bright. Their world was bright. Their future was limitless. It was a future born from a small idea and a big heart. The end was not an end. It was a beginning. A beginning of endless ideas. A beginning of endless possibilities. A beginning of a creative future. A future where every new thought was a treasure. A future where every person could be a creator. A future built with imagination and hope.